Well, welcome everybody and happy Groundhogs Day. We got a little news that we want to break, opening up the show if you haven't heard already. Well, Reed, how you doing? Before we get to Ponzatani Phil over here, Ponzatani, whatever. You doing all right? You feeling alive? You feeling the spirit?
I'm in it. I'm in it to win it tonight.
Well, let me get this open and share old Ponzatani Phil here. See what he's got to share with us about winter. Not that it concerns us down here in Florida. It was like 80 today. It was a pretty good day. All right, where are we at here? Bang, bang, boom. Let's get old Ponzatani here, and let's see what he's got to say.
All right, well, today is Groundhog Day. That means all eyes are on a small town in west central Pennsylvania. We're all waiting to see if the world-famous groundhog, Punxsutawney Phil, predicts that we'll have another 6 weeks of winter or an early spring. Reporters asked the vice president of the Punxsutawney Groundhog Club how he thinks the morning will go, but he said it's all up to Phil.
I mean, based on his track record, you got to lean towards 6 more weeks. But Phil, listen, it's not up to me. I don't know what he's going to see that morning. I just am going off of the percentages. But I'm okay with 6 more weeks of winter. Whatever Phil says, I'm good.
The wait to find out if Punxsutawney Phil sees his shadow this year kicked off at 5 a.m. our time.
Oh, that wasn't even the Groundhogs video. I thought I saw a whole, here we go. Now here's the right one.
Well, now that we got the intro out of the way,
Now,
wait till you get to the history of it. I added the link here for the history. So after we watch this, pull up the history and just give the viewers a synopsis of what even started this whole Groundhog Day phenomenon.
Now, where did you put that? Where's that link?
Groundhog.
Is it the one that's just Punxsutawney Phil?
No, Groundhog.
Groundhog. Oh, okay. Let's look at the lore. The legend and lore. Hey, I even said it right. The legend and lore of Groundhog's Day. Here we go.
Yeah, if you just
give
go
us a
down
little
to the
synopsis,
history.
Mr. Carter.
Well, the history of it started as a Christian religious holiday of Candlemas Day. It was commonly associated with the current celebration, but its roots are older than that. The celebration started in Christianity as the day, February 2nd, when Christians would take their candles to church and have them blessed. This, they felt, would bring blessings to their household for the remaining winter. As time rolled on, the day evolved into another form. There's a folk song that highlights the transition. It goes a little something like this. If Candlemas be fair and bright, come winter, have another flight. If Candlemas bring cloud and rain, go winter and not come again.
I like it. So I'm in flight in this case. See, I guess this is 21st century with all the microbreweries and stuff around. I'm thinking of like another flight of beer. Hopefully they were thinking the same thing, but I don't know if Christians back in the day were all that, ready to rock and roll and party with another flight of beer.
Yeah, I'm sure it's loosely translated, but this interpretation of Candlemas Day became the norm for most of Europe. As you can read, which we're not going to read, they don't mention any kind of animal in that song, right?
Right.
So where the hell does it come from? Well, it wasn't until this belief was introduced to Germany that an animal was introduced into the lore, hence another evolution of February 2nd. So according to German lore, the hedgehog saw its shadow on Candlemas Day, so there was a second winter. If he didn't, there was 6 more weeks of bad weather.
Okay, and then when German settlers came to what is now the United States, so too came the tradition and lore. Honestly,
Right.
This goes back quite a while.
Yeah, I wish they gave
1886
us-
is the first
There it is.
Punxsutawney celebration.
Isn't that crazy?
It is crazy.
So-
It is weird how the Gobbler's Knob, I do love that name. It is such a sexual
that-
innuendo in the 21st
That's what I
century.
wanted to get into. How many sexual innuendos are there here? Because if you really dive deep into this and we go into, say, maybe who the inner circle is, like where are we at here? The inner circle. And just start looking at some of the names of these cats. Like Tom Dunkel is the president and Shingle Shaker. What the
Shingle
hell is
Shaker. I
Shingle
love that name. Tom
Jeff
Tom
Lundy is the
Dungle.
fair weatherman.
What's his name, the
Age-
fair weatherman?
Jeff Lundy.
Ooh.
You should see Butch Philibert. He's the Iceman.
Oh, the Iceman. So we got murderers, shingle shakers. This does sound pretty perverted.
Yeah, go ahead and click on the 23 on the notes, and that'll bring you right to the inner circle, and you'll be able to pull that up. It is interesting.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah,
the secretary, Jason Gruski, is known as the Big Chill. Like, whoa,
the Big Chill. I love this.
This is a whole deep secret. You want to talk about secret societies? They're right in the open, but this is some weird shit.
I love it though. Vice President of Moonshine. I love it. Dan
Punxsutawney Phil is Punxsutawney Phil is known as the weather predictor extraordinaire.
He's the Nostradamus of the rodent class.
The treasurer is also the sky painter, which is whatever that means. I mean, this is just a very, very strange deal. And if you really want to get even stranger, guess what the name of the top sponsor is?
I don't know. Ice House, probably.
Nope, it is not. It is. I wish I could pull it up to show you, but it's
Joy Saran, the
Mining.
Daybreaker. I love this.
The 2023 sponsors, Rosebud Mining is the top sponsor. I mean, is that any more of a sexual innuendo?
That makes sense for Pennsylvania, though. Pennsylvania is a big mining state.
Sure. But also, I mean, we're doing groundhog shit where they speak in groundhoganese. Like, have you even seen? Yeah, you didn't even get deep into the legend and lore of what they do. The fucking, it doesn't even really say it right here, but the damn groundhog comes out and speaks to the fucking handler, which in the inner circle would be, where's our handler?
Is that not the shingle shaker?
No.
Who is that? Because
it's AJ DeRoom, the Rainmaker. He's the handler.
Oh, the Rainmaker. I like that. This is like some mafia style stuff right here.
Exactly. Well, you'll see here that the groundhog will speak to him in groundhogese. It's its own language.
And so the Rainmaker's a translator. This is like some Indian stuff. We're incorporating. This is multiculturalism at its best here, fella. Let's see what
look at it.
Let's see what old Punxsutawney predicts. Let's hope we don't get a YouTube commercial.
All right, well, today is Groundhog Day.
This is that same one. Well, I haven't had good luck with this link so far. I thought you put in the whole video there, fella.
I did.
It must be here somewhere. It just keeps playing that old one from ABC whatever, and well,
he's got his own YouTube channel, man. You should be able to find this.
Punxsutawney is he's mysterious in his ways. He apparently didn't want us to know about his event happening today. Either way, old Punxsutawney, we'll get to it here in a second.
Just click on day, and that should take you to it.
Click on day. All right.
It doesn't show the whole thing, but it does read the poem for you.
All right. See, that's what I wanted to see. I wanted to hear this poem from Punxsutawney. Punxsutawney's poetry, I heard, is top notch. Here we go. This looks a little more satisfactory. All right, here we go, old Ponxy.
Today is the 137th annual celebration of the rodent. This morning, fans in Gobbler's Knob, Pennsylvania gathered to see if Punxsutawney Phil would see his shadow and predict more weather for us.
No matter how you measure, it's 6 more weeks of winter weather.
6 more weeks of winter weather, but Punxsutawney Phil does not have.
So I'm assuming the handler
is
that
the
guy
that stupid
speaks rodentese.
Best accuracy record, 40% of accuracy.
Go click on pick. I went to YouTube and went and found the real thing. Go click on pick, and that's going to show you from the moment they pull him out, and you'll see him speaking groundhogese.
Oh, this is long though. We really want to go 4 minutes worth of. We've already gone pretty long on the groundhog stuff.
I mean, if it's worth it.
Let's see. I mean, let's at least give it a try.
Gentlemen, are you ready?
Just find me a black guy.
Please place the royal red carpet. Mr. Vice President, will you place the scroll?
Black guy.
This is fucking a whole deal, man.
Well, it's been going on since over 100 years. Of course they're going to have the whole shebang. They got a sign for him and everything.
Gentlemen, gather around.
I just hope that's his I hope that's his home for the whole year. I know it's probably not, but that would be sweet.
You know, this was
No.
it is, and all these inner circle guys
It's
take
a
care of him throughout the year.
tradition that we will shout, Phil, 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 Phil.
How many
Phil,
people get lubed up
Phil,
before this? I
Phil.
wonder if they do.
There's no alcohol out on the premise.
Dang.
It starts at 3:30 a.m. though.
Whoa. Punxsutawney's an early riser. Phil's an early bird.
Yeah,
They got him locked in there, too. He's a little slave in that thing.
he's speaking. He's speaking right now. Groundhogese. It's an intricate language.
It's intricate language. It's one of substance and pure joy.
I wish he'd get bit. That'd be fucking great.
There have been moments where they freaked out. They were talking about it like in 2013 or something. Apparently Phil, whichever version of Phil it was, I don't know how long these things last,
I think
did
they last
not like
10
the way
years.
he was being handled.
There
An
it
old
is.
gobbler's knob.
Oh, he's talking right now.
Punxsutawney Phil, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah. And they fucking
What the hell's going on? They full
I
Lion
watched
King
this shit
Simba.
live this morning. I was dying, dude. Gobbler's knob. Like, I know this was made up by a bunch of fucking drunk guys that were like, dude, we should just fucking name it the most outrageous thing. Gobbler's knob.
They were very poetic back in the day.
So
I
he's
love
been
traditions
talking.
like this, though, dude, to be honest. It's funny
Oh,
how
he's
they have
picking.
it there written out, so they must be whispering to him well before.
Dude,
well
shut the
beforehand.
fuck up. This thing's not talking. No one's talking to anything. This is all predetermined. Like, no one.
No,
this
duh.
isn't the Groundhog's
I'm
talking
just
to somebody.
Oh, they got a couple versions. He's picking them out. I love it.
There's two different scrolls. That's what I'm saying.
Like which one? They're having a
Mr.
they're having a
President,
conversation.
Well, they got to make sure they all agree that that's the one he picked.
There's got to be an agreement. Got to all be in
Stakes are high.
accord.
All right, well, we know what they did from here. We've seen the fucking poem. We've heard it all. Bunch of fucking kooks.
February 2nd, Punk speaking in Groundhogese directed this President Dunkel.
I have to
the
hear the whole
proper
thing. It's
scroll,
not that
which
long.
reads, I see the morning has brought the finest people. I see their bravery and spirit.
So eloquent.
The time has come, I can feel it, the excitement, I can hear it. I see the folks with gray in their hair, and I see the kids all young and scrawny. Their eyes and cheeks
What? He's
aglow
shitting
from the
on
cold,
everybody.
clean air of sweet Punxsutawney. I see
It's a
that
poem,
everyone
dude.
knows their part, and I am merely the sage. But above all else, I see a shadow on my stage. And so, no matter how you measure, it's 6 more weeks of winter weather.
Damn, can you believe that a groundhog said all that?
That groundhog is good.
So eloquent.
He is an eloquent little critter. Him
I wish
him
they.
and Jack Frost, do they just have like a little meeting beforehand? And he's like, hey, I think it's going to be,
yeah.
6 more
Him,
weeks, so you better
Santa,
predict
Jack
it.
Frost, the Easter Bunny, all those guys have a meeting.
That's true. The Easter Bunny's got to get in on it too because his event's
The
coming
fucking-
up in a few weeks.
The leprechaun from St. Patrick, he has a meeting with them. I mean, I'd be willing to bet that even the turkeys and all those guys get involved. I mean, it's
Well,
a
it is
big event.
Gobbler's Knob, so you got a little turkey action going on.
I'd imagine it's similar. It's similar to the global summit, the G9 summit that everybody does.
Or
Whatever.
Davos.
that-
This to me
It's
is more
big.
important than the
It's
World
big.
Economic Forum, no doubt.
Well, I mean, they're literally determining the weather. I mean,
They are.
this is-
Now, to some of those who are really conspiratorial, is Punxsutawney Phil Jewish?
well, I wish they would. Whoa, that's a good question.
Because if you're real
Especially a name
anti-Semite,
like Phil.
you might think the Jews control the weather.
Wow, Kanye, relax.
That Kanye probably
Man.
hates Punxsutawney Phil, if I had to guess.
I bet.
He's going to come out with a hate song here in a little bit. What are
I
you
want to
looking
know
up?
what is. I'm trying to know his rate. I want to know his prediction rate. How good is Punxsutawney Phil?
I would have to guess at this day and age, they're probably looking at like weather forecasts to try and make old Ponxy as accurate as humanly possible. That's just my thought. If he were above 50-50, though, that would be, he might need to start making picks on games. What's his Super Bowl prediction?
He's not very accurate. He's in the last 30 years, his success rate was only 37%.
Well,
Yeah, we should get that guy off the air. If he was a news anchor, we'd fire him. Like,
I don't know. I think news
if he was
anchors
a
these
sports
days,
broadcaster, like, he
news
would be
anchors might
fired.
have a worse record with what they're telling you than old Ponxy.
Well, whatever. I am a firm believer that's one of the dumbest things we do. I would love to see us continue it just to see how long we could possibly. How many people could continue to do this for how long? It's kind of like an experiment at this point. Let's just see how long this dumb thing will keep running.
I think you have to keep dumb things rolling like this. It's not like it's doing anything bad. It's not like they're
It's
skinning
great.
the groundhog after.
I wish they'd allow alcohol though, just to see how wild it could get. Like people would probably be trying to like fuck Punxsutawney Phil and shit. Like he'd have groupies. Like Punxsutawney Phil would have groupies.
Punxsutawney,
Like,
he definitely's probably got some little groundhog ladies. He's probably planting his seed left, right, and center, an old gobbler's knob.
Well, they have to keep reproducing because their lifespan's only 8 to 10 years, I think. So they got to get another Punxsutawney Phil. They've been doing this for 200 and something years.
Oh, well, I mean, of course, there's definitely multiple Phils.
I
unless
wish
he's
they
just
number them like
timeless.
the popes. I wish they'd do it like the popes. If it was like Punxsutawney Phil to 14th.
That would be awesome. And it does go to show, to your point, they do have only a limited lifespan because Canada's version of Punxsutawney Phil was apparently found dead on arrival when they tried to grab him out of his Canadian gobbler's knob. So apparently, I don't know. Does that mean 12 more weeks of winter? Who knows?
I think that means winter's officially forever. Like you're never getting out of winter. It's
in
done.
certain parts of Canada,
An
it
ice
sure as
age.
hell is.
The last time this happened, there was an ice age.
Well, we do have other things going on than it just being Groundhog Day. We have the Pro Bowl going on as we speak, some of those events.
Little dodgeball action right now.
We do have dodgeball going on. From what I saw, because I was glancing at it a little bit before we started, because they're doing it like AFC, NFC challenge. I believe the AFC is sort of blowing them out right now in whatever point system they're using. But yeah, tonight we got the precision passing, the best catch. We had the long drive. And then what else? We got dodgeball, like you were saying. There was this lightning round thing. Check this out. This was dumb. So they had a lightning round where I think it was an offensive lineman and a defensive lineman throwing them at targets like you would for like the dunk a clown at a fair or something where you're throwing baseballs.
Yeah.
Instead of water, they literally had confetti because it was Ray Lewis and Eli Manning in their respective tanks. And when Eli Manning, I guess, lost, I'm not quite sure how this one went, he got dunked with confetti. He was thinking it was going to be water, which, why wouldn't it be water? It's kind of stupid.
I didn't even see that. This sounds like a complete gimmick.
Well, this whole thing's a gimmick now. Ever since you told me that it was flag football that they're playing, not as much of a gimmick as you can get. The long drive, dude, they're doing it with NFL players. Some of these cats were rolling up there saying, I'm Xavier Johnson. I watched a YouTube video right before I drove this golf ball. It's like, oh, well, this is going to go well for you.
Yeah, they got precision passing. That was tonight. Long drive, lightning round, dodgeball. So best catch is going to be the last event tonight.
Yeah.
I wonder, it's supposed to be like a dunk contest, so I don't know how this is going to go. This could be pretty cool if they're like diving into mats or like foam pits and making catches. That might be pretty cool, but
at least the best catch at least has some pretty good guys, because for the AFC, it's Pat Surtain the second, and then Stephon Diggs. For the NFC, it's Justin Jefferson, and then I don't know who this guy is. Maybe you do.
Amon-Ra St. Brown?
Ross St. Brown? Yeah, I don't know who that guy is.
Amon-Ra St. Brown. He is the
whatever.
He is the Lions. He's the top receiver for the Lions. You should look him up, dude. His dad's a bodybuilder. His brother's in the NFL. Like his family's freak athletes.
All I know is Amon-Ra is like an Egyptian god. So who is this guy trying to pretend?
Well, the only reason I know who he is from Hard Knocks, but and this season he balled out. But you should look up his while you're sitting there, just pull up Amon-Ra St. Brown's family and just look at his dad is like he's been training him for a while. I think he went to USC.
What, Amon-Ra St. Brown? What a
think he went
mouthful
to
of a
USC.
name. Yeah, he went to Southern Cal.
Ramen Noodle Brown.
He went
Whatever you wanna
to
call it.
Mater Day High School too. He went to a pretty good high
Yeah.
school.
Yeah, and his family, his brother's with the Browns, I think.
Oh, that's a perfect last name. Brown to the Browns.
Well, maybe I just said that because his last name. I don't know.
Oh, dude, his dad was yoked in his day. Oh my God.
Dude, huge.
Wow. Well, homeboy didn't. I mean, he obviously got the athleticism from his father, but he did not get that body. Good night.
He's cut though. I mean, he's pretty ripped in his own right for sure.
True,
The
I am.
dude's,
That is another one over here. He is pretty jacked. Well, his dad's got to give him probably a better workout routine than USC
That's what
ever did.
Well, that's what he said. They did like a short with him, like during Hard Knocks, I think, or maybe it was an ESPN thing. But he said his dad's been training him and working out with him since fucking like elementary school. He's been lifting weights and doing shit.
His dad was definitely on the roids though, because dude, you don't get a body
yeah.
like that naturally.
No way. No
Oh
way.
my God. Yeah, well, that was interesting. But no, that one I think might be the best. But when the precision passing, I don't know what the format is for that. But
Weird. They're not even showing it though. Actually, we have it on live, and they just cut to women's basketball.
oh Jesus. But you got Huntley, Carr, and Lawrence for the AFC, a real just trio of excellence right there. And then Smith, Cousins, and Goff. Not too bad. It just shows the Pro Bowlers have just, because I know Allen, like we were talking about this, I think maybe the last one. Allen decided to just go to a pro-am. It was like, fuck it.
Yeah, he's playing in the Pebble Beach Pro-Am this weekend.
Which I would probably rather be in Pebble Beach than Vegas anyway, playing at the pro-am.
Well, I was listening to a podcast and I mentioned that the Pebble Beach Pro-Am used to be a premier event, leading up into starting, big play, FedEx Cup play or whatever, points play. And now I think there's only like a handful of guys in the top 50 that are even participating in the event.
Really?
Yeah, it's a very, very low attended event for the stars.
Are like live guys? I wonder if live guys if that like made it a house divided type of situation.
Well, possibly, but then the waste management tournament's next weekend, so
they could
they could just be resting for that, right? That's a much bigger event. It's and
it's a fun one.
Yeah, it's a massive event. The 16th hole there is the coolest shit ever.
Is it the 16th? I was going to say, is it the 14th or 16th?
Yeah, I wish more holes in golf were like that, man. It's awesome.
They do like 12 or 14,000 people around that hole. It's freaking crazy.
And the videos of them at like daybreak when they open the gates and everybody's been lined up for an hour or two and they're fucking run into the hole to get the best seats because it's first come, first serve unless you're in like the suites level. Which they do have like some cool like suite levels. I looked up tickets once where it's like you're lined up by the tee boxes and it's like their inclusive packages and shit.
Really?
That'd be cool too. Yeah.
That's got to be pretty fun. Now I want to see with this stupid thing because you just made me think about it. How do you feel about these golf guys wearing their joggers these days? What are your opinions on this?
Honestly, I didn't see it. I heard about it.
Well, let's bring up the picture. I got it right here, fella.
I wouldn't mind these guys wearing shorts, so whatever.
God,
it doesn't really.
You're such an anti-tradition puss. I hate it.
Yeah,
making fun of old Punxsutawney Phil, wanting him to wear shorts. You probably want to wear thongs.
Yeah, those are definitely strange.
I'm just not a big fan of joggers generally. I don't understand.
I wouldn't have gone with that color anyway, so.
I just don't get what I never understand with jogger. It's you're essentially wearing a reverse sweater because at your ankles you got those little cuffs. I don't understand what the point of that is. And how is that effective for jogging? I don't get it. But as you can tell, I'm not much of a jogger, so.
I don't know the practical reasonings for them, but you never have to jog on a golf course. So if that's, one reason to not wear them, then there you go. You're not jogging on a golf course unless you're trying to get in before the sun goes down.
Old JT weighed in on this too, saying, same as a sweater or a shirt. Some like it, some don't. No what right or wrong, in my opinion, says old Justin Thomas. And he said, at Graham Dillette, said, if kids like it, let's love it, grow the game. See, I get it in a sense, but at the same time, I don't think kids should be dictating the game. I think you should let the game mold the kids versus the kids molding the game, because then next thing you know, you're going to have it like Happy Gilmore out there, which, judging by what you're saying earlier, you love it.
I mean, whatever. It doesn't make a difference to me. Who cares? As long as you respect the course itself, fix your divots, don't fucking be an asshole. I don't care what you wear. As long as you're not wearing fucking jorts or, as long as you don't look like a bum. If it's fucking presentable, fine.
Well, presentable these days is a loose term, my man. There are people rocking around with just pajama pants all over the place. It's nuts.
Well, I mean, if my grandparents wouldn't let me wear it to church, then I wouldn't wear it on a golf course.
You went to church? Oh, my God.
And notice I said grandparents. That's how long it's been.
I know, judging by your attire, you wouldn't let yourself on a golf course right now.
I wear this to Pine Brook all the time. I don't know what you mean.
Yeah, you're talking about Pine Brook, fella. You're not talking about a PGA Tour event.
Well, no. I would wear a collared shirt. or a golf pullover. I mean, it doesn't have to necessarily be fucking collared. I don't think you need to wear a collared shirt to a golf course.
Yeah, I mean, listen, you're talking to a guy over here who, if I'm going out 9 times out of 10, I'm wearing a collared shirt and khaki shorts. So I'm already dressing like I'm going to the golf course anyway. I like being presentable. I guess that's my mom drilling that crap in my head for my entire life. So I try not to dress too shabby if I don't have to. The worst I'll go is I'll have a collared shirt with some, gym shorts if I'm just being real lazy and running up somewhere real quick.
Dude, that is something that should never be allowed on a golf course. Gym shorts never allowed on a golf course.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think so, no. But I just like the traditions. I just hate that our generation and the ones younger and like Gen X, our parents, are just so cynical about everything. It's like, oh, well, why do you have to do it? It's this, that, or the other. It's like, it's just a tradition. Let the tradition ride. It's not like it's hurting anybody wearing pants. If anything, it's making you look better. But I don't know. I digress. I'm a curmudgeon over here. I should be like 89 years old. That's my soul. I have like an old soul, baby.
You should join the Punxsutawney Phil inner circle, how old your soul is.
I should, dude. I would wear that top hat. That top hat is ridiculous. I love it. I love it. If and when I ever get married, I'm going to strongly consider, I know the old, whoever that bride to be, lucky her, won't allow it. But I would do, the old, what is it, like 19th century type of stuff where British people would have like the split, like penguin things. I would want to wear one of those.
God.
With the top hat.
I could see that. I could see that for sure.
I would love that, dude. Just looking like a total stud out there.
That's funny. What's not funny, though, is that Eagles guard Josh Sills got arrested 11 days before the Super Bowl.
We have a couple of
charges.
We have a couple of arrests. We have him, Josh Stills, and an even bigger name just from who people would know. Joe Mixon also got arrested. Let me wind it back. He didn't get arrested yet, but apparently he has a warrant out for his arrest because he put a gun in a woman's face for some dispute and threatened her. I believe it's essentially similar lines as to what this dude was doing. Sills, I should say, not Stills. Because what did Stills? Allegedly forced a woman to perform oral sex in a truck. Well, that might be worse. Let's bring up this story. Did you read this one? I haven't read it.
I didn't read it either. But he's now been placed on the commissioner exempt list, so he won't be allowed to practice, play, or anything until he's off of that.
Now, is he a starter?
I don't know.
Oh, this is old. He apparently, old in the relative sense, forced a woman to perform oral sex on him for approximately 20 minutes back in 2019.
The NFL had to have known about this.
Maybe not, though. I mean, they're not all seeing.
Yeah, but you report shit like that. You have to.
Well, she may have just reported it because this is just breaking now. He just got arrested. So 21 years old, the woman, the alleged victim was 21 years old at the time. told them as Cousins got out of the car, still grabbed her by the arm and pulled her back in. Oof. What's the deal with this one? That is crazy. She claims, according to the report, that Stills then forced her to perform oral sex until he did his thing. Gave a little gobbler's knob right into her mouth. Good night. You will talk to me again. After he told her, you will talk to me again. Wow, forceful man. Good
Ooh,
Lord.
she had bruising in the back of her throat, dude. He was fucking
Long
getting
John,
after it.
Long John Johnson over there. Good night.
Holy shit. So they were
He's-
both 21 at the time.
Right.
And they'd known each other for 7 or 8 years. They
Wow.
went to high school together.
As we reported, police conducted an investigation into it all, and the NFL player was eventually indicted on 1 count of felony rape and 1 count of kidnapping on Wednesday.
Oh, he's a rookie reserve lineman.
Yeah, so he's not much of anything special. The Eagles ain't losing some stud.
So it's a non-story. Sorry for even bringing that up. If I would have read all of it, I wouldn't even put it in there.
Well, the big one is Joe Mixon. At least it led me to seeing that Joe Mixon got arrested after he allegedly pointed a gun at a woman and threatened her. More, I'm assuming, developing. What's great is in this. Let me share with you the tweet here, because what I love, just and the most ironic thing ever. So you're going to see an arrest has been issued for the Bengals, Joe Mixon, pointing a gun at a woman's face, and he's literally got a cross on his cheek. So he's a real abider of the Christian faith.
Good for him.
He's putting guns in women's faces for what? What could have happened that was even close to necessary? That's what I always think about some of these things. Is it's what is going on in this person's head, Joe Mixon's head. You have to assume he was probably drunk or something. Even still, it just goes to the fact that, dude, just know who you are and mind your surroundings. Like, what is the rationale to pull out a gun unless it's to protect yourself? Now, God only knows. Maybe this woman was going batshit crazy, but
yeah, who knows, man? Who knows?
Well, do you want to know who knows? Do we know if the NFL is actually legitimate or not? Because
maybe this was part of the fucking script. Maybe all this is part of the script.
Ooh, this is some Illuminati shit we're getting into right now.
Yeah, play this clip.
The one with Arian Foster?
Yeah, NFL's rigged. Play that for the people.
Let's see.
I'm sure everybody's heard. I'm sure our Indian conglomerate's already heard this, but
the Indian contingent is growing by the day, the hour, and the minute. We're up to like 50 of them over there. So all our Hindus over in India, keep liking and keep subscribing. Sub. But all right, let's see what we got here.
We're growing. We're ever growing.
We're always on. Always growing, always on. Let's see what Arian Foster has to say. What I don't like, did you ever watch Pardon My Take back in the day? I don't watch it anymore.
A little bit. I don't think it's on
PFT is just, he's just gone. His character's gone. He's got his sunglasses off these days. I don't like it. Uh-oh. Is it going to play?
Maybe it got taken down by the fucking...
It did. This might be a
Illuminati.
true conspiracy here.
Wow.
Uh-oh. Let's give it a good old reload here. Oh, man.
Arian was telling me about how the NFL is rigged and how every year he used to get a script.
Yeah.
Day one of training camp that would get dropped off at his locker. And you would have to, it was like week 1, you'll do this. Week 2, you're going to have a hamstring injury. Week 3, this is going to happen.
Yeah.
Week 4, you're going to get 3 touchdowns. And so then you just have to, did you memorize those
Week 4
before the season started? Or would you go and rehearse the script before every game?
We're really dedicated to it. So it was more so like, that's what practice was about. It was about practicing the script. Like, this is what goes on and this is what we have to do in order to,
And this referee is going to miss this call.
Yeah,
because
we
they
do.
hate you
Yeah.
and they love the Colts,
Yeah,
that
it's
sort of thing.
WWF, so it's like, you
Yeah.
know, we know what's going to happen, but you still got to put on a show.
Yeah.
What did you think when you got the script in 2016 that said your career was going to fall off a cliff when you stopped believing in God?
That was 2015.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's funny, before we started taping,
That might be the best. I didn't see that question at the end there. That is the best. that your career was going to fall off a cliff once you stopped believing in God. God's judgment right there. I didn't even realize those two had a show. Micro or macro dosing. Can't say I'm the biggest fan of that. Why are you upside down, guy? Did you change your camera view or something?
No, my phone's ringing.
Oh, that's called Do Not Disturb. Now you're making me put on Do Not Disturb. I need to make sure I'm on it.
Well, we're rookies.
Hey, big time businessman over there. I can barely even figure out Adobe to try and edit these things. That's the task of the weekend here. Irregardless, do you think that the NFL's rigged?
I don't know, man. I've seen some questionable shit. It's funny seeing these players react on Twitter and shit. Just seeing like Micah Parsons and the funniest one to me is the Dan Orlovsky. If you click on conspiracy,
Dan Orlovsky.
Play that clip. Yeah, pull up that tweet. That's funny.
Yeah, I would have to say I don't buy it at all. I mean, that it's kind of a joke that it's even a thing. I think it's the most Twitter bullshit ever.
Yeah, he said totally scripted, and then play the GIF where he's running out of bounds.
Is that Orlovsky? Is that him?
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's hilarious.
Putting it into context, you probably got called for that because that's so egregious.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And then Matt Castle put one. He said, "Do you know how much practice it took to mess up putting my cap on?"
Yeah.
There's a clip of him trying to put his hat on, and it's falling off his head.
At least they're having fun with it. But
oh, yeah.
Bad call or not, because there was a thing going around, too, where the head referee of the Chiefs game, I think his name is Roberto Tolbert or something like that.
Yeah.
And it was a fake thing going around. It got some traction from when I was looking at it from parody account saying that he was unaware that his son had placed a rather large bet on the Kansas City Chiefs to win the AFC Championship game. And it was fake. But I don't think the NFL's rigged at all. Otherwise, why would they have it the way, some of the Super Bowl results that you see or some of the teams that make it there, there's no way the NFL is moving the dice or whatever or phoning down to the refs to make sure certain calls go their way because some of these teams that have played in the Super Bowl recently have blown. And if
it's fun to play around with, but
but it's just real. So stupid because you're going to get people who actually think that because they're gullible as hell.
Yeah, because Alvin Kamara responded to Arian Foster and said, "When they handed me the script for our season during camp, I almost walked out the facility, bro."
Yeah, at least the players are having fun with it, because if anyone buys that, you truly are in it just a moron. There's more validity to us not going to the moon than saying that the NFL is not rigged. That's how atrocious that conspiracy is.
Yeah, that's a whole nother can of worms we're not opening on this podcast. We're not always on the moon landing tonight.
Well, we could be. I know you probably think it's fake. You're a big conspiracy guy.
Yeah, why not? It was fake. That's why we've never been back.
So that's everyone's first argument. Actually, on that note, though, just to say, I saw this video where otherwise, it just on the conspiracy thing, it seems like they're going through a lot of trouble to fake it. But there's this video of this guy's channel. I think it's called Smarter Every Day, where it's in Alabama where they have all in these vacuum sealed nitrogen enriched chambers of every moon mission and the sediment, the soil that they brought back. And if you watch that and you come back and tell me that they go through that minute of detail just to fake a moon landing that happened, multiple ones that happened 30 years ago, they're really investing into the fake out because it's pretty intense.
You have to.
You
have to. You have the whole world duped. You can't just fucking stop it just telling people it happened. You got to go get some fucking rocks and run it through some fucking motor oil and make it look like it came from the moon.
No, they don't do it, dude. Go watch this video. It is unbelievable because they have to.
Exactly. It is unbelievable.
Any piece that they break out, they have to photograph every single side. They have to document how much they took out, weigh it, They can't touch it like with their hands. It's through this stupid glove thing, like you'd have a bubble boy or something. It's absurd how obsessive they are with it. Just because there's only a finite amount. So it's crazy. Because that to me was like, oh, if anyone does believe,
what do you mean there's a
landing,
finite amount? Like the moon's right there. There's not a finite amount.
Then go get some soil guy to research it. Just go jump up there real quick. I know you got the hops.
Elon just sent a rocket into outer space this morning. Like, why can't we just stop off at the moon on the way?
It's kind of far away, I think. If I'm not mistaken, it's a little bit further than just out of space.
I think to get to the moon and back would be like 5 days.
They were actually on Joe Rogan's latest and greatest podcast. They were talking about it for Elon. Speaking of the devil, I think their trip would be 10 days round trip. And that's just going around it. That's not even landing.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, it's not too easy.
What do you mean? That's not a big deal. We send people to the space station apparently, or they just go to like an underground fucking catacomb and hang out and pretend they're on the moon.
I'm pretty sure the space station only takes like 30 minutes to get to once you're launched. It's not very far away.
Well, it's a good stopping point to stop off and get a cup of coffee, and then we can jet off from there.
Jet off to the moon. That'd be kind of cool if one day. Would you ever do that if Elon is able to get it in a way, or whoever the heck down the road? Would you ever go on a tourism flight? Let's say it's cheap, right? It's like $100. Would you ever do that? Just launch yourself into outer space?
I'm not flying any airline that only costs $100. That's asking for problems. I'll pay the $350 for a better flight.
You were just talking. How much did JetBlue cost you back in the day when we were ranking the airlines?
Oh, I don't know. I didn't pay for that. I was like 18 years old. I don't know.
Yeah, JetBlue. I've flown on flights, round trips that weren't. I think Allegiant. I flew up to Carolina and back for $97.
Listen, we're not talking about going to Carolina. We're going to the fucking moon. Like, I don't want. All right, if I had a choice between Elon's rocket and fucking your rocket, I'm going to pay the extra for Elon's.
I said it's a hypothetical. Would you do it if it were cheap? That's why I said $100. I wasn't saying that's legitimately going to be the price. It's probably going to be well more than that. But I just threw out a number that's feasible.
Sure. Yeah. I if it was cheap, whatever. I would do it either way. I think it'd be cool.
Yeah, I
would stop off. Why not?
I'd probably, you only live once. How many people could say that they launch themselves in that? I guess maybe someday everyone will be doing it, but
yeah, and if you die doing it, like you pretty much go out instantly. Like it's not.
It is true.
You're gonna burn up, right?
Well, if you're doing it out by the moon, I don't think you burn up. You freeze to death, don't you?
Yeah, that's probably instant, dude. Or do you freeze to death? Like, here's my question. How does this work? It's hot here, but space is cold. How do we get the heat? How do we get the heat from the sun, but space doesn't get any heat from the sun?
I think it depends on where you are. Well, I think also the Earth itself is absorbing the heat, so it's acting sort of like a black shirt. You know what I mean?
What if I was so that's why we wear white and
I don't know about stupid shit like that. I didn't just take a dab before this podcast and I'm thinking up as dumb shit. I think that the half the heat is probably coming from like the Earth itself, and then the other half is coming just from the sun.
Moon,
I don't know.
The moon's closer to the sun than the Earth, right?
I think it depends on where it's at because the moon revolves.
Right.
Points it is.
So at those points, is the moon hot?
I would think so, but the moon only has one face towards the sun at all times. That's why they call it the dark side of the moon. So I'm assuming that dark side's pretty damn cold because it's not getting any heat, and it doesn't have a core. You know what I mean?
But don't we see the dark side of the moon? And the sun's getting the light side, but our dark side would be the sun's light side?
No, the side we see is the side getting illuminated by the sun. So like when you're looking up at the face of the moon, that's why it's always the same face. You know?
Right.
It doesn't rotate like that.
Man, I'm high.
You are. Yeah, I mean, yeah. You were thinking that the moon was just stagnant in place and that it didn't.
No. It rolls around. The moon rolls around. For sure it rolls around. But
Oh yeah, it revolves for sure, but it itself, like, it doesn't move. It just revolves around the Earth. It just sits there in a fixed position. It's crazy. If you want to get high and see some that, like, really look at how the sun and moon and all the solar system moves in space, that stuff's trippy because
I've
it's
been
just
to the
going up and
planetarium.
down the entire time. It's weird.
Yeah, I've been to
It's
a
weird to think that
planetarium. It's
huh?
cool. The
Well, yeah.
planetarium downtown. It's cool. They
Save
do the light
Snooty.
show and all that. Well, yeah.
Save Snooty. Well, you guys didn't do a good
Rest in
job.
peace, Snoop.
Did you get your justice for Snooty though? I don't know if you guys did.
No,
The famed Bishop Planetarium manatee
got
such a
chalked up as
tragedy.
an unfortunate accident.
But what might not be
Unfortunate
accidents or
it was.
something? Well, I don't know. People are saying that the Panthers hire Frank Adolf Reich III. He might be an accident waiting to happen. The Panthers new head coach. Riddle me this. Why is it a trend in the NFL? I feel like it happens more times than not. Why is it a thing in the NFL for this dude just got fired from the Colts? Now he's rehired by the Panthers.
Yeah, it's interesting. I don't know what they're going to do different in Carolina that they couldn't do in Indianapolis. They don't have a quarterback. They got to draft one.
Exactly.
They don't really have any receivers around them. Their defense is average. I don't know what they expect out of this guy. I guess they're going full rebuild and like his philosophy, and the Colts didn't have the patience for it. I don't know.
But
how many years was he with the Colts?
Huh?
How many years was he with the Colts?
3.
2? 3?
I'll pull it up right.
That's a decent amount of time.
No,
to turn it
18 through
around.
2020. So he was there for 4.
Oh, that's plenty of time to turn a team around.
And he didn't do it. I mean, he was so bad that the Colts now, I know he got fired like midway through the year, but the Colts have the number 1 pick anyway. I'm trying to see where the Panthers are. I think they're 4th, aren't they? Nope, that's the Bears who are 4.
Aren't they like 7th?
Raiders are 7th. They're predicting Anthony Richardson, by the way, just speaking of the
old.
How crazy is that he is – listen, Gator fan through and through. I want him to succeed, but that's a little – whoa. That's a
He might have to be a starter his first year.
At the Raiders? Yeah, he very well might be. The Panthers are picking 14th, and by this mock draft – now, this isn't ESPN or anything, but they're saying they would take a cornerback, Joey Porter, who is pretty good, the Penn State guy.
Yeah,
I think he's –
I've also seen I've seen Richardson slip into the Panthers too at 14.
If he falls, but if he's going to if he's a top 10 pick, would that be the highest pick for a Florida player? I think it would be.
Yeah,
like a Florida quarterback, I should say. Let me refrain, because I'm pretty sure we've had some guys go top 3.
Where did Emmett get drafted?
Huh?
Where did Emmett get drafted?
I think he was a late first rounder. The one that was the highest, but he was a bust that I can remember off the top of my head was Dante Fowler. He was 3rd overall for the Jags.
Yeah, we've had some defensive guys that have gone early.
Yeah, because Vernon Hargraves from the Bucks, he was a mid first, I think.
Round. Yeah.
Huh?
When did Percy Harvin go?
Look it up. Was he out of the Vikings straight away? I'm looking at this mock draft because apparently the Dolphins don't have a first round pick. The Dolphins draft is going to be thin this year. I just want to see some of the notables. While you're looking that up, I'll give what this guy's take is for the first 5 picks. I didn't realize Will Levis would potentially be the first round pick to the Colts. That's what they're saying. I would rather have Bryce Young. Bryce Young's the 2nd pick for the Houston Texans. Speaking of the Texans, they just got their head coach, D'Amico Murray.
No.
Ryan, sorry. I'm thinking of DeMarco Murray, the old running back for the Cowboys. He was good when he was healthy. But no, D'Amico Murray. Jesus, I said it again. D'Amico Ryans, the DC at the 49ers. They're getting Bryce Young, apparently. So they say. Then the Arizona Cardinals will get Will Anderson. That's kind of a fall for Will Anderson. You'd think he'd be number 1 overall. He's a stud.
Yeah, he's a stud. Ooh.
Then Jalen Carter, speaking of studs, the defensive lineman from Georgia, he'd be 4th to the Bears. That would be good. They need him, or they need some defensive help. And then a guy I didn't know too much about here. They're saying Seattle Seahawks, they got this pick from Denver. We get the Texas Tech edge rusher, Tyree Wilson. I didn't see him really play too much or noticed.
No.
And then the Bucks might get CJ Stroud is what they're predicting here. They're going to say, we're going to pass on Trask. I'm assuming they're just not going to. If they do go CJ Stroud route, do you think they even give Trask a shot, or is he just?
Well, here's what I've heard or read, at least on fucking different platforms, is that Light and Arians and Bowles all like Trask, and they like that he spent 2 years under Tom Brady. They think that they at least give him a shot. I don't doubt they bring in a quarterback. I mean, I don't see why they wouldn't. Their quarterback room's fucking empty. I mean, they got to bring at least 1 or 2 guys in, but I don't see why you don't give the guy a shot. I mean, he had 2 years under Tom Brady, man. He had to have learned something, and he wasn't. I thought he was good in college. I thought he would be a good transition into the pros with his style of play. He's got a good arm. He can extend plays with his legs. I think you give the guy a chance.
I think the problem with him is, like, to your point, he's got an okay arm. I mean, it's not like he has – I think the reason he didn't start earlier in college is because he had, like, Felipe Franks over him at Florida at least, who could throw the ball a country mile. Richardson can throw the ball a mile. I think that's his he's very accurate, Trask is, and he can throw the ball 50 yards, right? It's not like he's got nothing.
Well, Tom Brady wasn't throwing it a mile in his later years. It's an accuracy. This game can be won on accuracy and game management. It's the NFL. You don't need to be the playmaker. You just need to be able to manage the game.
That's sort of the point I'm trying to make is I think Trask gets set aside a little bit just because he doesn't wow you as much as like a CJ Stroud or a Anthony Richardson will, like on paper. Even Will Levis, he's a pretty good athlete himself too. He doesn't wow you like that, but at the same time, Phil Rivers never had a fantastic arm or all that, creative, but he was a perennial Pro Bowler. I would like to see him, if it's not of the Bucks, I would at least like to see him get a shot starting because I think he would be okay. Obviously, I want him to be very good just because of personal bias. I would hope. We'll see. But it seems, just judging by this little mock draft, it doesn't seem like the Bucks, if this is even remotely true, have too much faith in him. If you're drafting a CJ Stroud instead of trying to build around him,
Yeah, well, this is the time to build around him. I mean, with Tom Brady retiring, and you got guys that are on their latter years of contracts. I mean, it's time to lock in a quarterback and then move to the pieces around him. That's how you build a team in the NFL. You don't get the pieces and then find a quarterback. They got lucky for the Bucs, so that's how it worked out with Tom Brady. But you don't get Tom Brady's off the free agent market or in the draft very fucking often.
And look at another guy, too, just speaking of a young guy who's proven himself to be pretty solid thus far, even though he's only had, 8 games. Brock Purdy, literally Mr. Irrelevant, the last pick in the NFL draft. And he's turned out, at least so far, to be pretty solid. Trask was a second-round pick. I just hope they give him a shot. I'm not saying he's going to be good. I obviously want him to be. But I would like for him to at least get a shot.
How do you dump that much money into I mean, it's not that much money, but they put a good amount of money into the guy. I mean, how do you not at least give him a chance to at least go through training camp as the starter, or at least battling for the job? I wouldn't name him the starter outright. Just let him battle for the job. If he doesn't win it, he doesn't win it.
And it probably depends.
First, they got to get a fucking offensive coordinator.
That's what I was just about to say. It depends on who their OC is going to be. They still got to figure that out. Maybe the offensive coordinator comes in and likes him. They still, like you said, they still need depth at quarterback. They need at least one more guy. Yeah. But do you not waste, I shouldn't say waste. CJ Stroud's a very talented dude. But do you use your first round pick on another quarterback when you may have something brewing in the back end? I know a lot of people, though, that are Bucs fans probably who aren't also Gator fans probably don't think too highly of Trask, if I had to guess.
It's possible, but at this point, they're not going to think too highly of any quarterback after Tom Brady, right? So,
well, it's tough.
Look at Patriots fans with Mac Jones. I mean, he's pretty damn good. He's not a world beater, but he's good enough to win you games. And Patriots fans, love him or hate him. He's a very polarizing guy just because of the guy he had to follow up. Big shoes to fill.
And I think in this era of NFL, you just need to have a stud quarterback. That's just look at right now who's about to play in the Super Bowl with the Phillies, the Eagles, and dude, baseball's right around the corner. I keep thinking of baseball.
Just call them the Phillies.
I guess I could in a way. It is Philadelphia. The Eagles and the Chiefs, the teams who were playing in those games all had pretty solid quarterbacks. You could debate the Brock Purdy thing, but it was Burrow, Mahomes, and then Hurts.
Brock Purdy, man, I don't recall exactly when he came in as the starter, but he at least kept the streak alive for the Niners. They won 12 games in a row.
Yeah, it was like week 7 or 8.
Yeah, that's fucking unbelievable, dude. I mean, the guy came in and did his thing, did his job first and foremost, and kept him in ball games, and they won games and made it to the NFC Championship. And him going down, it goes to show you how important the quarterback is, right? I mean, they went to Josh Irrelevant. He's Mr. Irrelevant, Josh Johnson. No one knew who the fuck that guy was. He's been on 37 teams. He's been on 37 teams in the NFL. There's only 32.
I think it's going to be interesting, though, just on
He played for the Houston Oilers. Like, he's been around forever.
But of that situation, I think that the 49ers are in a little – I think Garoppolo's going to be gone just because they have Trey Lance.
Shanahan and Lynch already came out and said that he's gone.
Yeah, that makes sense. When you got Purdy and then Lance, I think the real interesting question, though, is how does that work out? Because Lance was the starter. They weren't doing horrible. He only played, I think, like 3 games. But do you just make that a quarterback battle? Do you try and settle that before the?
I would. I'd make it a battle. I mean,
competition
for 2 reasons. I mean, it elevates both their draft stocks, and like you just said, competition only elevates your team. So,
right.
I mean, it elevates draft stock for big. That's a big reason in the NFL. You can get rid of either guy for big time players or draft picks. So if they're both good enough to start, look at the Bucs, bro. We'll take Brock Purdy in a fucking heartbeat.
Yeah. Well, I was having this argument with my family members who are all Dolphins fans, saying that if Tom stays retired,
he's staying
fine.
Retired.
He probably is, let's be honest. But if he were to have the opportunity to come to the Dolphins, would you take him? One of my family members was like, no, because he beat the Dolphins so many times. It's really his record compared to the rest of the division wasn't all that.
That's also that's just a short-sighted, ignorant reasoning. Anyway,
that's what I said. I was like, dude, that's as sophomoric as it gets. Like, I could see a 12-year-old saying that because they're 12. But at the same token, it's Tom Brady who threw for 4,700 yards almost, 25 touchdowns to 9 picks, and had a 60, I think it was almost 67% completion percentage at 45. And if he wanted to give it one more year at the Dolphins, you definitely take the greatest player to ever play quarterback and have him run it for 1 year. I would. And did I hate Tom Brady when he was at the Pats? Yes. He was like the bane of my existence. But if I can have him on my team for a year with the talent the Dolphins have, taking him every time, almost over anybody.
I agree. That's how I was before he came to the Bucs. We didn't play him every year, and I still didn't like him. it's not that I didn't like him. It's just I knew when you played his team, you're probably gonna fucking lose, especially in big games. That's just how he rolled. And that's when he came to the Bucs, I knew instantly we were fucking gonna be good. I didn't know we were gonna win a Super Bowl year 1, but I knew the Bucs were gonna be good. That's how the Dolphins would feel if he were to come there. But I think he stays retired. That retirement little video he did, he got emotional. He seemed like, this seemed for real this time. I called it almost immediately last time. I was like, it got leaked before he even said anything. Like, last time was a shit show.
I think he's retired this time for sure, too. But there's always that thing where he even said it himself he wanted to play till 50, which looks like he still looks like he very well could if he wanted to.
I agree.
I don't think he is either. I think he's done. I think he's gone through a bunch of personal stuff, too, that probably he's over it. But do you think he signs that one-day contract with the Pats just to officially retire a Patriot?
Yeah, sure. Why not? Who cares? I mean, if the only people that matter,
Pats fans probably care.
That's what I was going to say. The only people that matters to is Patriots fans, Robert Kraft, and fucking maybe Tom Brady. No one else gives a shit where it doesn't matter what team you retire from. In all reality, it'll matter in fucking 20 years when he gets invited back to their Ring of Honor and shit. They'll say, well, you retired a Patriot. Like, that's what it's going to be for. The Bucks will bring him back for Super Bowl things and, whatever, and fucking 10 year, 20 years, all that.
Well, and let's be honest, no offense to the Bucks, but he'll always be remembered as a Patriot just because that's where he had all his success. But it is crazy though, because they were showing some stupid meme about him riding off in the sunset, and it showed like his Super Bowls. He has more Super Bowls than any other franchise just by himself. Like, it's truly impressive how dominant he was in the league.
Yeah, he's definitely the GOAT, man. I don't think there's any question about it.
And fun fact, did you know this? He is the last. It makes sense because we're in 2023. He's the last player from the 1990s who made it into the NFL to retire.
He also is the last active athlete that was ever drafted by the Montreal Expos.
Is that for real? I didn't realize.
Yeah, he was drafted in baseball, like a late round.
I didn't realize
that was back when baseball had a fuck ton of rounds back then too. I think they had like 12 or 15 or maybe 18 rounds.
Yeah, because they just consolidated it like they're a few years
it's
ago.
Down
not
to
even
like
that
10
long
or something now, or 8, or it's real small now.
Yeah, it's still pretty dang long. I can't wait for baseball season. I think the Braves are going to be legit.
Right around the corner.
I'm pretty pumped about it, not going to lie. Luckily, we have a lot to talk about.
Yeah, when you're down, we should go to a Pirates spring training game. I'm sure they play the Braves or something down here.
There are probably some good teams in Orlando. I've never looked into it before, but I would imagine there are probably some teams around here.
There's Lakeland. You got the Tigers right outside of you in Lakeland, and then I think you got like Vero.
Oh,
Beach.
The Braves. Now that I'm thinking, oh no, they're in Clearwater now.
They used to be in Orlando. At
yeah,
Disney,
they used to be.
They closed that down. Yeah, they closed that shit down.
Yeah, sad stuff. I got so excited for a half second, and then I realized, damn it. But so I guess that goes because I saw some other things. Obviously, I think it's, and I love Dan Marino. I love some of these quarterbacks, but I think it's undisputed that he's the best quarterback to ever play in the NFL. My two questions are, do you think he's the best player to ever play in the NFL? And if so, is he the best player to ever play in American professional sports?
I don't know, man. That's a tough debate. I think I don't know if he's the best. He probably is the best team player because he's the quarterback, but I don't know if he's the best athlete ever out of America. But maybe the best team player. Shit, this dog's going nuts in this crate.
I can't hear it, so we're all good.
Scratching and clawing.
No, I think he's probably the best team player. I think the debate would probably be either him or Jordan, I would guess.
That's what I was going to say. I mean, those.
But he's definitely not the best athlete. I mean, he is pretty. Besides his arm talent, he's pretty god awful pure athlete. You know what I mean? He's slow as dirt, not the strongest guy, but had a good arm and a great mind. Right? That's half the battle. He had work ethic that no one else had.
Yeah. No, and that's what makes him the one of if not the best athlete of all time in terms of just overall performance, longevity, championships. I mean, it's tough. He's well rounded in terms of a top tier GOAT caliber athlete.
Yeah. Now, I guess that transitions us. Do you want to take the damn dog out? Just take the dog out of his crate and keep looking at it the entire time.
Dude, she's going nuts in the crate, scratching and shit.
Then just open the crate up. I'll transition us into old Jaden Rashada going into Arizona State officially. Apparently, that's where his dad went to school. Jaden Rashada, the whole debacle when it comes to Florida. Billy, in his little presser, didn't have much to say on the topic. I guess that makes sense. You don't want to throw the NIL under the bus. But, obvious step down. I would say so. I mean, Arizona State, Florida's not on its highs like it used to be, but there's a lot more. We've won 3 championships, and we play in the SEC. I mean,
didn't they go like 4-8 or 3-9 or something last year? Arizona State with
and they fired Herm Edwards like beginning of the year.
So there you go. I mean, I'd rather go 6-6 in the SEC than go 3-9 in the Pac-12.
Will he be a bust? I truly on it. This may be just me hate talking him right now, being a hater because he didn't wind up going to Florida, but I think he's going to be a bust. I truly do.
I mean, he doesn't even look like that good of an athlete to me. His hair makes him look like he's fucking like 30. Like, doesn't he look, to me, he looks like he's strung out and old. Like, he's scrawny. Like, I don't know. He didn't look like a top tier athlete to me, just in the pictures I've seen.
And in the Under Armour All-American game, he did not ball out. Just didn't.
I didn't even watch it. I have no idea. I wish I had the East-West Shrine game on. I'd like to watch that, see how Torrance is doing.
That's probably going to be a good one, too. Did you see that, just speaking, while we're on the topic of college and Gators, you see that, oh my gosh, Brendan Cox was in Gator stuff the entire week? I didn't realize they let him leave with his helmet.
What do you mean? Oh, really?
Because in the Shrine game, you have your school's helmet, you know?
Huh. I didn't realize that. I didn't watch any of the practices or anything, so I didn't notice that. But
yeah, I just saw it on
interesting.
Twitter. And then Florida's not even promoting him because they showed the 3 players who were there, Torrance, and then the other 2
well,
guys.
They kicked him off the team. I don't know. That's weird. What would they put him in? Like just a black helmet? If he, like just
I would imagine probably one that
white
says East-West Shrine game on it or something like that.
Huh. That's kind of interesting. I kind of want to put that on at probably halftime now. So when we're done, I'd like to see.
On the topic of college stuff, who do you think had Alabama had the best class, but who do you think had the most dynamic class? Because I was looking at it today. I don't know if you just looked at the team rankings. Florida only signed 20 guys, and we were 11th, wound up 11th. And it just got me thinking, if we signed, because Alabama had like 26, all the other top 10 teams had like 24 or above. So all Florida needed was like 2 more players, and we would have been a top 10 recruiting class. Like, I'm pretty sure Miami themselves, if I'm not mistaken, I'm pulling it up right now, who was top, I think they wound up top 10. I don't think they cracked the top 5, at least not on 3. That's where I'm going. Yeah, they were 6th. They had 25 commitments. Every team in the top 10 had 24 or above. And Florida was sitting out there in 11th with 20. So
that's a couple guys away from cracking the top 10.
Yeah, I wonder how, because they do it by overall score, and I'm assuming, is that a composite of the average? You know, I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know how that rolls.
Because it just makes it a little weird. Because Alabama, though, they had 28 kids. They had a average rating of 94.11. That's pretty legit. Of course, Alabama and Georgia 1 and 2. I hate to see that. It's sad.
And I don't see that disappearing anytime soon.
Well, Alabama
retires.
I was about to say Alabama, it's been going on forever. I would imagine Georgia will be the same unless something bad happens to Kirby. Not wishing that upon him. Hopefully he goes to the NFL. That's what I'd really like to see. Is Kirby to the NFL.
Yep, that's possible too, but eventually. I mean, we could see that, but we all thought, Saban might make another stab at the NFL, and he never did. So
True. Have you watched any college basketball?
I watched a little bit of that Florida-Tennessee game last night. I catch it a little bit occasionally. I'm familiar with it, but I don't watch a whole lot.
I haven't watched a second. I didn't realize that Florida beat Tennessee, number 2 in the nation, by the way. Well, for right now. I didn't even realize that they had played until I popped on ESPN and saw that we won like 64-54. I was like, well,
yeah.
Florida's turning it around, it looks like.
First-year coach, Todd Golden.
True. Well, can you even name, like, besides Castleton, I can't even name multiple people on the Florida's roster. Like, that's how bad it is, how bad my fandom has been for college basketball.
I have no idea.
And I can't even name anyone. I don't even know who the major players are.
Joe Noah's still playing?
Right? I wish. I would take him. That leads – did you see, just speaking of old people playing basketball and dominating, did you see that video of the 23-year-old lady who was playing JV basketball and just smacking shots? I got to bring that up. That one cracked me up, dude.
That was hilarious. Just getting out there, getting some reps in.
And the best part is not even varsity, it was JV basketball.
Even better.
It is even better. This one was so clutch. I loved it. In a completely empty stadium. Who caught who? And I think this is Florida because it's NFHS network. So I think that's for Florida high school sports, if I'm not mistaken, but I could be wrong.
No, I'm pretty sure you're right.
Let's bring this lady up. This cracked me up, dude. Here she is. Bang. Driving to the paint. Taunting the opponents. Like, dude, you're literally 23 years old.
She's competing, man. She's in the zone.
What are these girls in JV basketball, like 15, 16?
Yeah.
Oh, get the hell out of here.
She's barely even moved and just swatted her shit. That's great.
Was she a coach? Is that how this, like,
yeah,
how
I
does this
believe
even
so.
work?
I think the story is that she was a coach and they were down a player and she stepped in so they didn't have to forfeit.
Oh, really?
I think that's the story. I just made that whole thing up. 80-20.
I hope not, or I hope so in a way, because good Lord. Oh, I didn't even notice that you put this in here. Netflix is getting rid of password sharing.
Yeah, man. It's all over. They're going to make you log into your home IP address that's registered to the account owner every 30 days.
Wow, what thirst traps, dude. They're hungry for the money. I like that you had this love is sharing a password from 2017. Well, that didn't last too long. They weren't honest brokers on that one.
Yeah,
how many people retweeted them on that?
I wish I had that info. That's great, though.
Yeah. Well, it looks, just judging by your lack of wanting to keep this thing rolling, it seems like you want to wrap this thing up, if I'm guessing.
I love how you just always put it on me. That's your subconscious saying. By the way, I looked into your dream that you had about you sleeping naked or you being naked. It's your subconscious telling you about your fear of insecurities about yourself and being discovered and basically your lies, or not your lies, but your true self being discovered by people is what you're fear of. That's why you have dreams of you being naked in front of people. You're afraid of exposing yourself to people. You're afraid of the true you coming out.
The true me. I don't know.
I mean, this was some dumb fucking website.
I was about to say, based on my history of getting drunk and letting people know, I don't think that's a fear of mine.
Drunk people speak sober thoughts, is what they say. So
I was about to say, I probably have a fear of being naked in front of people, because that would fucking suck. A big fat man being naked in front of people, that wouldn't be fun. So yeah, I mean, I guess in that regard.
Yeah, but I think it's more about you're embarrassed about something that other people don't know about you. It's more of that.
See,
is that what it is? Are you embarrassed about something?
I don't know. I tell people all the time that I'm skinning cats, so I'm not quite sure what there's to be embarrassed about.
You're skinning cats.
Yeah, you got to be honest. You know, you gotta expose yourself to the world about your true self.
What does that mean? Are you really skinning cats? Did we just uncover something?
Always on that skin game, dude. You know what I mean?
Well, did you like the feeling of being naked?
I mean, I sleep naked, so yeah. I mean, I enjoy the feeling.
In your dream.
No, because I'm running around and fucking, because the parts where it is, like, I get dropped into like an office setting, or one, the one that was on Sunday is maybe Saturday. I'm sitting there and all of a sudden I'm in like a school fucking hallway and I'm just butt ass naked all the time. Huh?
You were at school, you weren't at work?
Well, one has been, I mean, work, whatever you mean by work, but one was like an office setting. Couldn't tell you if it was work. One was in a fucking like sporting event, like I was in the bleachers, and then the last one was I was just in a school fucking hallway, and then I'm like fucking running like your old dog running hot laps trying to find where the fuck my clothes would be.
And you didn't like this feeling, right? It wasn't cool. You didn't like it.
Why the fuck would you like that feeling? Of course not.
Well,
because there's like people in the dream.
Yeah, well, if you were comfortable being naked, then the dream was about your comfort with revealing your true self. If you didn't like the feeling, then the dream was about your feelings of vulnerability, about being exposed. So you being at work and being naked was about your feelings of your work colleagues seeing right through you and seeing the real you. You have anxiety.
So what does the one for school mean?
Maybe you were never your true self in school and you regret that. And you have deep angst.
Who the fuck was their true self in school?
Man, or maybe people saw right through your hack fucking bullshit that you're doing, and they saw right who you really were. And you
They
know
just
it,
were
and you're having
piercing their
dreams.
piercing gaze got me 10 years later.
Yeah, and you're having
Yeah.
serious dreams about it, man.
I love it. What is this a site too that gives you your astrological symbols and tells me what my future is going to be for a Cancer?
No, I mean, this is a dream analyst, Jane Teresa Anderson, world renowned.
World renowned.
It's an anxiety nightmare, though, man. You're having anxiety nightmares.
I wouldn't say it's a nightmare though, because I'm not like, well, I guess what do you consider a nightmare? You know, like I'm not.
I mean,
I guess I technically
I
am
mean,
scared, so
in
I
its
don't want to
true-
be naked in the dream.
Yeah, in its truest form, I guess a nightmare would be a dream you didn't enjoy, right? I mean, you didn't. Most dreams, people wake up from, they're like, "Man, that was a good dream. Like I enjoyed that."
I guess.
A nightmare,
But I
would be
didn't
one
wake up
a
like,
nightmare
being like,
doesn't
oh,
necessarily
that
have to be
was
scary.
true. Yeah, I guess
Just be
because like I didn't
uncomfortable.
wake up thinking, oh, that I don't want that dream to happen again. You know
Oh,
what I
so you
mean?
did
Like,
enjoy it. You are comfortable revealing your true self. Maybe
no,
you,
I just think I'm a little more.
so you're
just,
having mixed emotions about this dream.
no, I'm now just analyzing it because you're fucking bringing up what was her name?
Jane
Jane
Anderson. I think.
Goodall, the Dream Whisperer. Yeah, I mean, I'm just like,
dude. Whispering Jane.
yeah, Good Night Jane. They called her. She helped write Inception probably too.
Well, maybe you should go get you some rest and see if you have another one. Write down what happened, and we'll analyze it pretty deep. We'll
I
do
haven't
a
had.
deep
Speaking
dive
of the
on it.
devil, I haven't had a dream since then. I'm trying to
Oh, you're
think.
due. You're due.
Dude, when I stopped smoking, though, I had some you should try it sometime. I know that'd be hard for you,
Yeah,
but if
maybe.
you give yourself like a week off and then
What do I
dude,
gotta
some
do?
vivid
What do
fucking dreams. Like I thought one of these dreams, dude, when I first stopped smoking, well, there was one right before Garrett Wader's wedding. It's like the day before, maybe 2 days before, and I dreamt that I had missed his wedding, and I'm like, went and saw him. I'm like, dude, my bad. What the hell is going on? And then there was one when I first stopped smoking, like for real, where it was like my uncle. My uncle was coming at me so pissed at something. It was like a birthday. We were all gathered together, and it was like, what the hell is going on? And then I had another one. I had some good ones too, where it's like, for whatever reason, there was like a hot model there and she was naked. And I thought for one dream, I thought I had like, you know how they say you can control your dreams potentially? I thought I was there, but I couldn't do it. It was weird. I honestly like.
Fuck are you?
This just started happening once I stopped smoking. I get way more vivid dreams now because when I was smoking weed, obviously for like a decade, I never really dreamt, like not at all. It was always just I'd wake up and it was dark the entire night. So I don't know. I guess I'm catching up on all this shit because some of these dreams are so
you're
lucid.
backlogged. You're just catching up on your backlogs.
Yeah, I was all gobbler knobbed up,
Gobbler knob. Well, I'm gonna go see the Gobbler knob here and go see Paul Tuckett Pete, or what was his fucking name again?
Punxsutawney Phil.
I had
know.
a hell of a time writing that in the notes.
Your dog's calling. You're gonna take old Winnie out to whiz.
Yeah.
Winnie out
Yeah,
for a whiz.
She's gonna speak Dachshundese to me, and she's gonna tell me what she needs.
Or you'll know the weather for tomorrow. Maybe Dachshunds give you a daily weather update. Who knows?
Well, it's supposed to rain tomorrow, so bring your umbrella to work.
Well, here's the thing. I think we should be good on this one because there were no calling people CSs and I hate to even say this, to call it the F word, but we didn't say the F word this time. So I'm pretty sure this won't be age restricted on YouTube. That'll probably be our mythical. Once we make it big, this will be our mythical episode 8. What happened to it? YouTube thought it was a little too raunchy for public viewership.
Yeah, well, that's great. I'm kind of glad now we're in the books of having an episode deleted. Now we know what it's like to have the man keep us down.
It is. We have the tech bros just putting their thumb on our growth, but that didn't stop the Indian subcontinent from liking and subscribing. They enjoyed it.
Thank God. And if you could, go ahead and hit that like button, subscribe it, tell your friends. We're always on.
I like it. We're always on, but now we're about to turn it off. We'll see you guys next time.